Hello everyone, I'm Jessicat and I'm still in my Christmas skin even though it's past Christmas and the next time you see me I probably won't be anymore, but let's just relish the holiday spirit for a little bit longer, shall we? Hope you enjoyed the Rube Goldberg video from a few days ago. That was fun to make. But anyway, today I want to talk about barriers and what we can learn from them in Minecraft. Now, in front of me I have a bunch of blocks, and this might all look like a mess, but I want to talk specifically about bottom and side textures. Textures that you don't usually get to see in Minecraft because they're hidden by other blocks. And barriers, fortunately, allow us to see the hidden sides of these textures. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Hopefully you enjoy it. These blocks that I've lined up over here, including mushroom blocks, which is what that is there for, and flowers, and snow, all of these cannot really be placed on barrier blocks, so unfortunately I have not included them as part of all these textures over here, but I wanted to examine these textures here and show you what the hidden sides of them look like. So I'm just going to give most of these a cursory glance. You can see that I've placed some sideways blocks on the sides of the barriers as well, so you can see the backs of them as well as the bottoms of the other textures. Just going to fly through these. Notice that most of them have exactly what you'd expect as bottom textures. This is the minecart texture, the powered rails and activator rails and detector rails all look the same from the bottom as they do from the top. Everything looks pretty much normal. The seagrass looks... the seagrass doesn't really have a bottom texture, as you can see. It's kind of just the sideways texture. And the sea pickles kind of like to glitch out a little bit, which I think is kind of interesting. The first one that I want to talk about is the beacon. Notice that the beacon, just like you'd expect, is completely encased in glass and actually has an obsidian-y texture covered by glass on the bottom, and the beacon is actually right next to another texture I want to talk about, which is that of the painting. Now, you might not even be able to guess that this is a painting from the back because it looks so weird, and I'm honestly not sure why the painting looks like this, because paintings they don't resemble any kind of wood that we know of in Minecraft. The closest I'd say is maybe spruce, but even if I look up spruce planks and I place them here for comparison, you'll see that it's not exactly the same. It's really quite strange in my opinion that the painting looks so different from any wood, even though it's literally made of wood. And I can't think of an explanation for this. I just thought it was interesting and I figured I'd show you because I don't know why the painting looks like that. But moving on from that, we have the shulkers. I want to talk about the shulkers briefly because one of these is a shulker and one of them is a shulker box. You can see which one is which if I come up here and you can see which one is opening. That one of there is the real shulker. And I noticed when I was placing them that the bottom textures look almost exactly the same, but there is one crucial difference. No matter which way I place them, the shulker and the shulker box always have the bottom texture facing in the same direction, and they are always facing in opposite directions. So one of them has the swirl pointing in a different direction than the other. And this is an interesting way of telling shulkers and shulker boxes apart. I just thought that was funny that they would look identical in every way except the top. So I thought I would just show you that. Another thing I want to quickly mention is the hopper. Notice that the hopper has this like dark patch in the center to indicate that the items are gonna, fall into it. But the other side of the hopper, the side that points into whatever other blocks it's transferring stuff into, is completely closed. It looks like the hopper doesn't actually, pop items out through the bottom. It just magically teleports them or something. I thought that was kind of funny that the hopper doesn't actually have a hole in the bottom. And anyway, moving on. Just quickly gonna point out that the corals don't really have too many surprises. The backs of the corals, both the coral fans, both dead and alive, look kind of funny to me. I think that it's kind of interesting that you can see like the backs of each texture kind of intersecting. I just think that's kind of neat. Next, I want to talk about the minecarts. Now, the minecarts I think are interesting because they all have identical bottom textures except for one. So all of these look the same as the bottom of the regular minecart, except for this one, which is the hopper minecart. And the hopper minecart looks different for some reason. It has the hopper sticking out from the bottom, which I thought was just a really weird thing to include. It just seems so random to have it there. But I guess it symbolizes the fact that, like, the hopper minecart can pass items downwards through itself. But I don't know, I'm a little bit confused. I mean, I guess it just it it just is a hopper inside a minecart. Maybe the way they texture that isn't even intentional, but I did think it was kind of interesting. The cake, in case you've never seen the bottom of a cake before, this is what it looks like. I thought that was kind of funny how, I don't know, it just looks so different from the rest of the cake, you know? And here's another thing that I think is really interesting. Some items stick, like heads, for example, stick out from the bottom of item frames, which I never would have guessed, but apparently things will stick through item frames. Here's another thing I want to talk about. Skulls have hollow insides. Not all skulls, mind you. This player head that I've selected, or this custom squid head here, they don't have hollow insides, but several others do. Several of the ones just naturally included in the game do. The wither skeleton skull is hollow. You can look at the texture from the bottom. And the skeleton skull also has a hollow inside. And both of those I thought were kind of interesting. I guess it represents the fact that skulls are hollow, like your actual skull that's inside your head is hollow. It contains your brain. That's how you're thinking and watching this video right now, in case you didn't know that. Nothing else interesting to report, I believe, about these other textures. And in case you didn't know, although you probably do know from swimming up to get to the surface, boats have a greenish texture under them, like they're mossy or something, which I thought was kind of cool. But anyway, that's enough rambling about bottom textures for today. This was a bit of a short video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. I think it's funny to experiment with stuff like this, and I hope you do too. And thank you very much for watching. Have a great new year, and I'll see you in 2019. Bye!